met. And these conditions are things, a thing or an agent that is going to transform this universe, which always exists, must essentially have these four characteristics: self-awareness, will or volition, ability, and knowledge. And this universe demonstrates that's the case. And this is what we say, these are the essential characteristics of God or creator. Okay? And of course we can move on, add more, but these are like fundamental, minimal qualities and attributes.
If we could agree on that premise and move on, then could you explain, if we agree on that, why would that mean that there are religions, or like why would even that we are praying for a God or praying for any other God, why is there any relationship between us who are created maybe from something else? Maybe also God did not create us directly. We are maybe a creation of something else that was created during Earth. Why do we have the obligation to go back to Him? Or why does He need us also to go back to Him?
Yeah, God doesn't need us. We need God. Once we are created, you and I will be asking the question: who am I? Where did I come from? What am I doing here? Where am I going? This question needs answering. If there was a creator possessing of all these qualities, the four qualities we mentioned, I mean, obviously, He's going to be being always eternal, free from any deficiencies that we talked about, right?
Sure.
So that means if He is the one creator, you would know why He's created it. So we cannot impose injustice to this creator because there's a deficiency. We cannot say God is someone who is so, you know, like, I don't want to even use this word. Yeah, someone who doesn't care at all, who just creates and leaves people to their demise, right? You can work out how this world is and why you're there, and that's it. And they die in their errors and their misdeeds, right? So we say, no, God is someone who's called a Rabb, someone who looks after, creates, guides, nourishes. Yeah, just like, you know, someone, if you're a lord of a house, you maintain the house, you protect the house, you look after the people in the house, and so on and so forth, because that's, you know, you oversee them, so make sure they're okay. So the creator, He cannot be someone like an absent father.
Why not?
That's a deficiency and a weakness.
Why is that a weakness? You created the stuff that shows that you have the ability to create, you have the knowledge. Like we talked, like you said, the four things, these are all there in His creation. I just don't see the reason why He needs to take care of His creation.
Well, I want to know, why am I created? Who can tell me?
But why do you want to know that? You can have future purposes.
No. You see what you've done. What's your name?
Osama,
I'm Mansur.
Mansur.
You asked me now, why do I ask? That's me, I'm asking.
Yes.
I'm sure you might be asking the same question.
Yeah, sure,
why am I created? So I want an answer which is correct.
And you can look for that answer.
And where am I going to find it?
Once you are sure and of like an evident answer, you can like stick to it. But you're assuming.
Where am I going to find the answer?
Nobody knows, I would say, for now.
Then that's a problem, right? So now you're saying, Creator created me with an inquiring mind to know why am I created, and then He hasn't given me the appropriate tools or the resources to know the answer.
We do have the appropriate tools. You can see that over the years we are moving forward.
Okay, so let me ask you then, we're human beings here for a long time.
Yes.
Where can we get this correct answer why we are created?
We might not know the answer right now, we might know it in the future.
So now you're saying for thousands of years of human history, God just left them astray in their wandering and in their, you know, total, look, I can't find peace. I will find peace knowing why am I here. You're saying God created me and left me in this state of unrest.
But I feel like you are talking maybe about you specifically, or maybe your other also fellow members, but a lot of people also feel peace without finding that specific answer, because there's so much in life to do, and you can have so many.
I want the answer for myself. So you don't care about it, but God created me and He's left me in this state where I can't find the answer. So now, what kind of uncaring God is He? I'll be asking. So you're now saying I am about to give God, project to Him deficiencies.
But I disagree with you, because I don't think that God is careless because of that. Because, you know, you're saying that because you cannot find the answer, that means God didn't.
I didn't say I cannot find. I asked you, where is the answer?
Yes, but you're saying if we cannot find the answer, that means that God, for example, it did not care about us to
No,
give us the tools.
there has to be an answer. You're saying for the thousands of years, no one has found the answer.
It could take another 1,000.
So the
But
people,
what happened to the people who has already died? I mean, they have done wrong things. God,
Yes.
yeah, some of
how should they live their life?
By the laws of the land.
So if a land says, go and do whatever you like, because
Other
it's a,
And that's why you revolt. It's
so
the exact
the,
same thing.
the law of the land says, you know what, okay, it's okay. Go and kill all the Palestinians, men, women, children, babies.
That's right.
Yeah, and you'd say that's fine, it's okay, yeah?
Of course not. But that's why you
No.
get
Why are you saying, of course not? Because law of the land. In fact, not just this particular land which is okay, most of the world says, yeah, we are with you. We are the friends of you, right? We are the friends of your land. And everyone does that. And you're saying they're all wrong? Who are you to say they're wrong? Osama, can you tell me? Who are you to say they're wrong?
I'm not saying that they're wrong.
Okay.
So they're right?
No, what I'm trying to say is that people are always going to have indifferences. Of course, they are seeing that they're right because of whatever.
Are they
history
right?
or- I don't think they're right.
Why
I think what's happening,
Why don't you think they're not right?
because again, it's a different topic. I do think that Hamas, what did was awful and wrong.
I'm not talking about Hamas
I know,
and
but-
Hummus.
But obviously, this is what it came back to. But of course, what Israel is doing inside of Gaza and to the Palestinians is extremely unfair and unjust, and it's also almost like a blood massacre without a reason. So of course, we're against that
Why?
because
why?
it's unjust. It's
Why?
unfair.
Why call it unjust? Law of the land, it's okay.
I understand, but that's
It's
the
their
law
law.
of their land. But that's the law of their land, and people in this land can also have their own opinions.
So now you're telling
They are
me,
doing right, and for other people it's wrong.
wrong.
Not every government is correct.
So now we have in a mess now. You're saying, how do I know what is right and wrong? It's the law of the land, but depends on which law of the land. So now you're telling me to live like a life of confusion. Which law of the land?
Not really, because also if I know you want to come back to religion, but also there's a lot of religions, and each religion has its own rules, just like every land has its own rules. And then you'll also be confused of like which religion you would want to follow with each of their rules and laws. There is a lot of religions, but again, that's why we're humans. Each of us can think, each of us can choose what is right for them.
No, we are not saying that religion can be, I mean, the base of, this, what is good and what is bad. We are saying the Creator is the one who is the basis of good and bad. We are not saying that lands or
But the
law
creator
of lands.
from one religion to another is very different. If you talk,
No, so it is not given by Creator. I mean, so there may be various religions,
Yes.
but that does not mean that Creator has given those religions in separate manners.
We can
Creator has
establish that it wasn't the creator that gave him those different laws. It's a distortion of the message, the laws from the creator. We can establish that. That's the whole process of,
I mean-
as you said, we are intelligent enough to understand and differentiate between these things. We can do so, and we can show you where people have gone wrong and saying God said so, in fact, when God didn't say so. So that's why we're saying, to say that I can work out what is true, what is false by my own thinking, this is not going to give me the right answer, because that will be so subjective. And as you've demonstrated, one group of people saying, you know what, let's move in this land, in the land of freedom, and then that everything goes. And somebody says, no, go to that land, because over there's some restriction. And do you see that problem?
I see.
That's why I want to know where we can get the correct answer from. If it's not from God, where else?
but I don't think God is also like the answer for those type of answers.
No, God has.
Who else can be? I mean, what else can be? Like, if you say that regarding this conclusion, like God, regarding this conclusion that God should be, I mean, have knowledgeable, self-aware, and those things. Like, God should be according to this conclusion. I mean, God should be the source or the main source,
yes.
source of every quality.
I would totally agree.
Inventor of every quality. No.
I would,
Yeah, like humans are wise. Humans do things with purpose. So God should not be, at least God should be higher than humans, like in purposefulness.
I do agree with you that if God is knowledgeable on everything, it would be the one that we would go to. But maybe in your experience it's different, but at least in my experience, there is no communication between me and God. So if we have a question to God, hey, do we go to this land or this land? We don't get an answer right away. What God has said is a long time ago, and it's written in the books, and what his prophets has been said, and that's it. We don't have like, when new things happen in the world, you don't have anyone to like ask. You cannot go to God and ask him. Yes, some people can say like, no, if you are religious and close, you can try to talk to God. He reaches out if you reach out to him. But I personally don't believe in that connection. But others could believe.
Let's understand one point then. In principles, you are willing to accept that God can send prophets and messengers in the past to tell them what to do and what not to do. But why is he not sending prophets now, is your question? Because
that's definitely one of the questions. But in general, why not just talk straight to the people and then they can ask you directly? Why do you have to go through a prophet?
Do you think that's a foolproof method? He comes along and says, sorry, I didn't realize it was you. You know what? God spoke to me last night, and God says, empty your wallets, give me all of these things, and that's the only way you can achieve righteousness. Give me your car keys, give me your house keys, and this is the, where's your, what's this called, checkbook? Sign all the pages and give it to me. God spoke to me last night to say that. You would not accept
Of course not.
that.
Exactly.
So you are asking something that you would not even believe. You're saying God should individually give guidance to people.
No, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. I meant like he could like show himself and talk to the people. Like I'm not saying.
If God showed himself to the people, some people will say, oh, that's an illusion.
Actually, he did to the Bani Israel. They still rejected him.
I thought he only showed it to Musa.
Yeah, and they rejected
He
still.
was the one representing
Musa did not reject God. He just start from the light of God.
But other people rejected him. It's
Next
still after that.
generation will.
Yeah.
Next
So this system doesn't work. So God, in His wisdom, He sends.
But I'm sorry,
They
guys,
literally
but I feel
got
like
food from heaven.
I feel like if you see God himself and you don't believe in God, I mean,
Okay.
that's God himself.
Did Satan personally know God exists?
Yes, and he defied him.
Then you're not. You see, you're asking for something like we want to see God personally, and still we have examples where by seeing God personally directly, it's still not going to help you to acknowledge Him.
And see, I see what you're trying to get to, but at the same time, when you see God, when people tell you at the end, when you are seeing the hell and heaven, when you're standing in the line or whatever, to know if you did good or bad, where your destiny is, everyone is scared. Everybody wants to go to heaven because everybody believes in God. When there's a clear belief that does God exist, that's everyone question. That's why there's Christians, people, because no one is 100% sure which religion.
So now you're got you, Osama. Now you're talking about the divine hiddenness problem. Why doesn't God become so apparent to everyone? Why does people need to believe in Him? Have knowledge of the unseen, God being unseen. This is, philosophers talked about it, Islamic philosophers talked about it. Why? Because this life is a test. If God came with these angels and so on, the matter will be decided. There's no question of, there's no test. But there is a test, that's why He created us. Otherwise, as I explained to him, He could have put some people, because of the makeup they've given with the free will, some people will use it unwisely. Kill, rob, cheat, rape, and so on, right? So these people needs to be accounted for in the systems of justice. So God could have just implemented justice, put them in hellfire, but He didn't. He wanted to make sure people are tested by themselves in this life. So that means He cannot then make it like so obvious. Yeah, there you go. Everything is obvious.
Yeah, it's like a teacher giving you the answers to the test.
Exactly. So that's why the system is like this. And we say God given us opportunity to know His message through prophets and messengers. So you say, for example, how am I going to know? Islam has come with the final message that in itself has a solution to all problems in the future. The guidance principle is there. So it doesn't matter if euthanasia, gene cloning, abortion, assisted, whatever you bring, right? All the new technologies and things like that, Islam will give you the guidance how to have correct answers to that. So in this sense, that way we can be sure that these are the correct answers. In your way, like, why do I need to follow a religion or follow a God? Everyone can make themselves, what's right and what's wrong. No, that's not the foolproof way of doing that, because everyone will come up with their own system, like people do.
Personalized guidance.
Some Hindu gurus in the past, they were shown on Channel 4, they were baking their own feces and eating it, saying this is how they connect to God. You will say how disgusting that is, right? But for them, that's the way. So you see, if it's left to individuals to make up how to reach out to God, how to connect to God, then people will come up with all these things, different things. Make sense?
God helps person.
It's okay, it's okay.
Like that.
All right, so
Appreciate your time.
Take
Thank you
care.
so much.
Take care.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
he's a Muslim, I'm sure.
We prayed already.
Okay, welcome. I'm going to pray Maghrib now. Let's go. Sorry, are you going to say something and then you should have come in?
Every human being at some point asks three big questions. Where did I come from? Why am I here? And where am I going? Islam argues these questions are not random, they are part of our design. In Islam, God is not abstract or confusing. He is self-aware, all-knowing, all-powerful, possessing will and purpose. And most importantly, He is one without division. God is not part of creation, and creation is not part of Him. He sustains everything but depends on nothing. Think of it like this. A creator maintains creation but is never limited by it. This preserves a clear distinction. God is independent. Everything else is dependent. Humans are not like animals. We question, we reflect, we search. That's not a flaw, that's intentional. Islam teaches that this curiosity points towards something deeper. We were created to recognize and worship our Creator. But here's the issue. If every human tries to figure out truth alone, you get thousands of conflicting beliefs. Everyone claims truth, but not all can be correct. That's why Islam emphasizes revelation. God did not leave humanity guessing, sent prophets from Adam to Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and finally Muhammad. The message was always the same. Worship one God alone. But over time, messages were changed or mixed with human ideas. So how do we identify the preserved message? Islam claims the QUR'AN is that preserved guidance. Some people ask, if God exists, why isn't He obvious? Islam answers, because life is a test. If God were physically visible, belief would no longer be a choice, it would be forced. True faith requires reflection, sincerity, and seeking truth. Without guidance, people invent their own paths. Islam offers something simple and consistent. One God, clear purpose, direct accountability, and preserved guidance. And that is why millions continue to find clarity in it.